Today, as I approach day 100 on the carnivore diet, I will be discussing how my progress is going, my plans for Thanksgiving, the mistakes I made while I was on the ketogenic diet, the content I'm focusing on for this channel, and my opinion on the element situation, why we should have a positive attitude and support each other. Stay tuned. Hey y'all, this is Kelly, the Broken Carnivore Christian. I hope you all had a good week this week. Wow, I can't believe it's almost day 100. Sunday, this coming Sunday, which would be probably tomorrow because I'll have this video out today. I'm at day 99. Tomorrow will be day 100. I can't believe time just flew by. I had a good week this week, the progress with the weight loss and everything was going well. I actually went to the doctor on Monday, the 28th of October, and I had a really good report. The doctor was really helpful. He was also very proud because he noticed that I lost weight. The nurse knows I lost weight. Compared to what I was 6 months ago, I was 330. When I started day one, I was 338, and now I'm at 297, but when I weighed at the doctor on Monday, I was 298, and I was happy that I met that goal. I didn't think I was going to meet it because I was so anxious that I was so close saying goodbye to the 300s, and one of my goals was when I went to go see the doctor for this 6-month checkup, I wanted to be seeing the scales say below 300, and I didn't think I was going to make it, but I did. 298.8. I was very happy. So there was some discussion. I felt great. The markers, the inflammation markers are good. I don't have any inflammation, anything like that. I still have a lot of work to do as far as stretching and working my right hip area so I can get that flexibility back. But other than that, I had a really good doctor's visit. He asked me what can he do, or what would you like to do? And I said, the one goal is I've been on a Nivorol, which is a off-brand of basalic blood pressure medicine. And the one thing that I wanted to do is get completely away from that. And so I won't be taking any medications. But when I did my trial, back in September, where I get trial, and I told him that I took it off, but I monitored, I had the blood pressure medicine with me, and blood pressure stayed in check. But when I decided I'm going to go back on it, I did notice that there was a little bit of improvement on the heart rate, because even though when we're active, and my job, I am pretty much physically active, even though I'm at that time of the year where it's a lot slower, but we do have our busy times and it can get busy. But I'm noticing the heart rate go up. So I went ahead because when I'm getting ready to go to the doctor, I want to make sure this blood pressure stayed down, which I went ahead and went back on it. And sure enough, my blood pressure at the doctor's office, it wasn't like 126/76 or 80 or whatever like it was in April. It was 112/76. Really good blood pressure. So when he asked me, I wanted to do that, but I made the suggestion that I like to cut the dose in half from 5 to 2.5, and let's review this in 6 months and see where we're going. And if there's any problems, or if I see any notices, or the blood pressure does continue to drop where I don't need it, I will get a hold of him. Other than that, in 6 months, we're going to review this and see how it goes. And he was very happy about it. And the one thing is when he saw what I'm doing, he says, whatever you're doing to lose this weight, whatever you do to get healthy, he said, just continue doing it. And, my doctor, he does recommend fruits and vegetables, but he's also one that primarily, hey, eat a proper diet. And no matter what he said, do whatever you're doing, keep on doing it. Just like us, whatever's working for you, do it. That's going to benefit you. What's going to achieve your weight loss? What's going to achieve your health benefits? And like most of us, carnivore diet is the only sustainable diet we can go on. But, and I'm grateful for this, but just like this, it was a learning curve for me. And I still learn. We all learn. This is why we get transformed by the way we think. And that's one thing is as we learn from our mistakes. So we continue to grow and achieve those. We're not perfect. We're humans and we're going to fall. But the one thing is not to give up and continue to grow, continue to achieve to what you want. And mine is and it's scary because I've been big most of my life. I hadn't had a normal body size since I was probably kindergarten, first, maybe second grade. This is where I started gaining weight, about second grade, when my dad was hurt. My mom worked second shift, and this is where my appetite grew. And in the 80s, kids in the 80s, this is the start of the process, and in my opinion, the ultra processed foods, and the high fructose corn syrup and all that stuff, and unaware of how we eat. And the 80s, there was a lot of the weight loss fads like Slim Fast and do this and do that, and it's about moderation. And even as a kid, I tried that. Even as a young teenager, I tried that, and it didn't work. It failed. And as I go, I always stayed overweight or obese, and start going towards 20 years ago, I didn't realize I was over 300 pounds. I was in the hospital 20 years ago, almost lost my leg. And when I weighed, I didn't realize I was over 300 pounds. Never thought about that. Never thought, put 2 cents in it. And it kind of shocked me. But as time goes, I'm like, I got to lose this weight. I got to quit smoking. Well, I didn't learn my lesson. I came back to smoking, smoked one more year before I quit. And, I really ballooned up to 400 pounds the following year. And in 2007, I was working in a factory. I couldn't even weigh on a scale, and I wanted to know where my weight was. And so I decided I am going to go back here, this big old scale, and I decided to weigh myself. And I didn't realize I was over 400 pounds. This was in 2006. And so I had to do something. So I started dieting. I started walking. I did some exercising, but still in 2007, I didn't realize I had also, from the effects of unhealthiness, and when you're on your feet most of the time, and especially when you're obese and overweight and unhealthy, you tend to have health consequences. And I didn't realize I had varicose veins. I almost lost my leg due to an accident that almost was my fault because I didn't take care of the wound very well. And the job I was required, it was very dirty and oily, and I had to do a mold change, and boom, where went the oil. Not even thinking about getting over there, getting it cleaned out, but not also realizing that I wasn't healing very well. I mean, I can get a cut on my hands or something, and I'm great, but down there, it wasn't healing as well. And not knowing that, hey, it's my diet, it was my poor choices of smoking cigarettes at the time. And I'm very grateful. I'm going to count myself lucky about why I could be sitting here today with an artificial leg. And I'm very grateful that the gangrene did not get to my bone. But as time heals, I noticed and I get this infection. And this is when I noticed, and I was at 400 pounds, and I lost about 40 pounds, but I couldn't get below 360 no matter what. And I wish, back then, I wish I knew more about it. But back then I was taught, we were learned, hey, moderation, cut calories. And, I wanted to talk to a nutritionist. I wanted this taken care of because I had a doctor he said, we can take care of this. He knew exactly what it did. And I should have listened to him, and I could have had where I wouldn't get those infections. So when I went there, this is what I wanted to do. And sure enough, I went to a vein specialist. They sent me to a nutritionist, and we got that under control. I found out I had varicose veins. And once I got that taken care of, I started on nutrition. And of course, they taught you, the pyramid that we always think we need to turn upside down. They didn't teach us, didn't teach me correctly. It taught me, how many calories I need, this group, that group. But as I worked out, as the varicose veins, then things started changing. My metabolism boosted up, and all of a sudden I dropped down, but I got down to about 315. I couldn't get below. And of course, times goes, you go, I get building a barn. Oh, well, I get to drinking soda. This is when the 79-cent 32-ounce soda, and I go get not one, but two. And I quit exercising. I get busy and I'm tired. And I didn't realize that I ballooned right back up. And so there's again, following year, I lost all the weight, got down to 315, but I always stayed around 315, 330. I never get down to the weight I want to be. But, as time goes, here we go, 2020, I am almost back to 400 pounds, and I'm decided, all right, I'm done with the sugar. I'm done eating sugar. I'm not eating more desserts. If I want it, I want this. I want to do this way. No more sweet tea. I've been drinking coffee plain for a few years. And I'm like, if I can drink my coffee plain, why can't I drink my tea unsweet? And so I drank a little bit of diet soda, but mostly tea and coffee and water. And then I decided I didn't know I wanted to have nothing to do with artificial sweeteners, and desserts and stuff. So if I want to make a dessert, I'm going to make a dessert. So this is how I kind of started looking at the ketogenic diet, and it's these desserts. And, I went back to the doctor. The thing is, I want to lose this weight. So what I end up doing is I remember I tried this weight loss medicine. It's called phentermine. Biggest mistake I ever made. I wish I never went on it. But she told me, this doctor, what I love about her at the time, this is my former doctor for the one I have now. She asked, what changes would you make? And I told her, I said, I'm taking out all added sugars, sweeteners. I said, I'm drinking stuff plain. And she said, okay, so we'll give it a try. After the first month, I did lose 15 pounds, but most of that was water weight, and I was happy. But come to December, I only lost 1 pound, and I'm like, I hadn't changed. And of course, this is come Christmas of 2021, New Year's of 2021. This is how I woke up in Dr. Barry's video about 7 ways to boost your testosterone come up. This is where I started my ketogenic diet. This is where I'm like, whoa, I'm going to try this. This is where I really started taking off. And, I lost almost 100 pounds, but as time goes, I was also taking this phentermine, and I think, our bodies will get immune to that medicine. And of course, this is where I made mistakes on the ketogenic diet. The one of the mistakes I made is I fell off. Some of the other mistakes is one thing about it, even though it says no matter if it's clean keto, dirty keto, ketogenic, ketovore. The one thing is that, keto is mostly low carb. And the one thing about low carb, you can eat nuts, you can eat peanut butter, but be careful. You can eat the regular peanut butter, but I highly suggest not to eat that. But I ate the Jif. My favorite was Jif, no sugar added. They didn't have hydrogenated oils or anything, no added sugar. But here's one of my mistakes I made. I didn't control it. I can go through a big jar within 2 to 3 days, just sitting, watching. And this is why the ketogenic diet wasn't sustainable for me anymore. It's because those mistakes. Dairy, one thing we all talk about dairy, and dairy is classified as carnivore. But the one thing about the dairy is it can hinder your weight. It can produce inflammatories. Remember, milk's got sugar in it. If you read the label, it's got sugar. And, I can't, cheese is made from the milk. And the one thing that I made a mistake is I couldn't stop at one piece of cheese. I ended up eating the whole package, hard cheese. And then, I also ate some of that we call processed cheese, the junk food cheese. They call American cheese, the junk that they put on the burgers at the fast food joints. I ate that too. And, you got to read the labels. So this is mistakes. And then the nuts and stuff, even though, we go by net carbs and, a serving size of pecans after the next serving is one net carb, but I think my opinion, and I know I heard this, and I know many of us in this carnivore journey, we heard it from Dr. Barry, we heard it from the other doctors, we even heard it from some of our carnivore fellow colleagues, that we should be counting all carbs, not just net carbs, because they want to deduct the fiber. But I couldn't stop at just one little serving. I end up making like a cereal mixed with pumpkin seeds, some walnuts, put some sweetener in, kind of make a cereal. So these are the mistakes I made, and I sabotaged it. And this is why it wasn't sustainable. And if I sabotaged it, you go back looking at the American Standard Diet, how we were all addicted to sugar, and how you can't stop at one little piece of cake. My favorite dessert snack was Little Debbie's Nutty Bars. I can't just have one pack. I end up eating the whole box. And that's why I come back. It's like, how addicting sugar is. You can make it addicting to a point that you can sabotage. That's why the ketogenic diet wasn't sabotaged. The other part was when I thought I was eating healthy, these healthy superfoods, they call superfoods like beets and spinach and kale and all that. And then you find out, you start learning about oxalates. What is oxalates? And oh my, it could be dangerous. Oxalates is a high inflammatory chemical. Lectins is another thing. And this is the defense mechanism for plants that has that. And, there's some plants we can eat and it's okay, but there's some plants that we do eat and it can harm us. And I didn't realize that it was harming me as well and my inflammatories. That's why, and then this whole summer, the weight just kept slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly. I'm going to show you a picture. This picture right here was when I was in Acuna, Mexico with my daughter. We took a picture right in front, and this is before I ballooned up. I was about 330 pounds then, but I was not even to where I was when I started day one on the carnivore diet. This was like in June, right after Memorial Day, and I was discouraged because this one I take pure joy in, and I was discouraged. And the other, some of the mistakes I made while I was in Mexico, even the last 2-3 trips, is when you need to stay off. But the problem was, it was hard. And, even though Mexico may have cleaner food than we do in their stuff, there's still poison. There's still the sugar. The families, they love to support, and they will feed you. And some of the food was good, but sometimes they, just like here, they give you the Coca-Cola and the Fresca. It was full of sugar and all that. Yeah, it tastes different than our Coca-Cola here, but it's still the same effect. It's sugar. It's addicting. It's poison. This is a problem we not having here in this country, but worldwide. Our country is we have greedy big corporations that don't care and shove this up to the politicians and say that we get approved this, and this, and they put garbage and poison and chemicals in our food. But sugar worldwide, and we do have this obese epidemic, and this is why it wasn't sustainable for me. This is the mistakes I made. So I'm hoping that what I'm talking about, testifying my courage, I'm hoping that, it's helping somebody or is encouraging somebody. So as I talk about this, I just wanted to make people aware that we are human, we're not perfect, and we make mistakes. And that was some of the mistakes I made on the ketogenic diet. Oh, we all know that the holidays are approaching, and Thanksgiving is coming around the corner. And as I was on this carnivore diet, I've never thought of two things. It's like I was always trying to plan, but as Thanksgiving is just 2-3 weeks away, reality is starting to sit, and I was way planning ahead of Christmas. Christmas, that wasn't no big deal. We usually keep it simple. I probably do a lot of carnivore, maybe it may be ketogenic, more of I call it Texas style chili. It'd be ketogenic, no beans in it. Way my understanding is Texas says no beans. Beans is bad in their chili. So I know that it's usually meaty and it has, the tomatoes and the tomato sauce and all that. But and the peppers. So it'd probably be ketogenic, but or I may just get some ribeye steaks, or I wish in my area, I wish we had a Costco. We do have a Sam's, so I am going to go get a membership, and I want to explore Sam's Club and see what deals I can get where I can get stuff in bulk, like like a ribeye roast, and I can cut my own ribeye steaks. So sometimes when you buy in bulk, you can actually get it cheaper, and in a long run, I can probably save a little bit of money. So the closest Costco stores I have to travel 2 hours away, either Kansas City or St. Louis, but at least we have a Sam's Club. So I'm going to get the membership, but they're talking about putting a Costco in, and I'm hoping they do, but we still have a Sam's. And one of these days I may go and venture either Kansas City or St. Louis and venture into a Costco and see what it's like, because many of you carnivore colleagues on YouTube, y'all did a carnivore, you went to Costco. I seen y'all go to Costco, and it's like, man, I wish I had a Costco here, because I really wanted to see what it's all about, and what good deals I can get in bulk, and where I can prolong my grocery until I get to a point that when my neighbor down just right across, my next door neighbor, they raise cattle, and they're going to start selling beef off their farm, and that's the best way to buy your beef, and that's probably the healthiest way, because where your meat come from, and that's a way to support your local farmers. But if you don't have that option, you have to go with plan B with farmers market, which you can find local farmers there. I went to the Columbia farmers market, and I bought quite a bit of meat, and I bought a meat that lasted almost a month, that I probably spend same amount in groceries just for a 2-week period. And I bought quite a bit of meat for $200, and it lasts me mostly the whole month. Cause when you're on carnivore, you don't tend to want to eat as much. You eat till you're satisfied, and you don't eat until you're hungry again. And that's the beautiful thing about the carnivore. But as I'm approaching Thanksgiving, the reality hit, and it's like, what am I going to really do? I said I was going to just cook me some ribeyes, because the family, if I go to one of my family Thanksgivings, none of them are on carnivore. Some of them are diabetic. Some of them, they believe in them, hey, this is the way we eat, no matter what, it doesn't matter. Food is food. And, some of them may even say, they may like that. It can't be sustainable. How can you do that? You're going to have problems, and which I'm not going to worry about it, but there will be turkey. I'm not a big fan of turkey whatsoever. I loved fried turkey, but I will not even eat it no more, because it's most of the time it's fried in seed oils, very, very inflammatory oils. And I won't eat that anymore. I'd love to try a smoked turkey. Maybe one of these days I'll get a real actual smoker, because most of the time when I do smoke or grill on mine, I have a Weber, but doing a turkey is a little bit different. So one of these days I am going to actually buy a real smoker, and it will be wood-fired smoke, because that's the only way I love smoke. We all agree that meat smells, the aroma of open fire, cooked meat on a fire of any kind, charcoal, lump charcoal or wood, it smells good. It tastes better. I don't know. And of course, that's the way our ancestors, that's how they cooked their food. They didn't have gas. They didn't have electric. All they had was wood. They probably worked away and made charcoal, and this is our heat source. It was wood. This is how they cook their food. Wood. This is how they cook, and we've been cooking since the beginning like this. But I was getting off subject. I'm gonna get back on there. Well, as I explore, this is how as I explore in the carnivore, and I find other YouTube channels, and it's amazing that how many people out there that's putting their story out. And I am very grateful that I'm coming across. They may have been out there longer than I have. This is my 9th video. I've only been out here since probably end of August, early September. It's like I was 30 days into my journey when I decided to, hey, I'm taking this and going. But some of them been out there for a year, 2-3 years. And I was like, thank you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for putting out that support, that positivity, your journey. You're putting yourself out there. You're putting yourself vulnerable out there, and because you care, you want to change your life, but you care so much that you want to take this journey to be a testimony to help others. And I want to thank you and keep going on that. And as we go, I come across some new channels, and if you haven't seen them yet or hadn't come across, I highly suggest to go to Carnivore Kip, his journey and where he's at and his progress. And I met they're a husband and wife. They're a husband and wife team out of South Carolina. His name is Larry. Her name is Cassie. Carnivore Quest. And why I'm giving her a shout out is she put out a video about, she's talking about Thanksgiving and what we do, and, different, some of the, fallbacks of, dairy. And she had a challenge, and it's called Tighten Up. And like, she was not only challenges us, encouraging us to say, hey, let's tighten up. Let's kind of be strict, and let's tighten up, because Thanksgiving's coming around, and a lot of us, we're just real people, and we know that we may tend to fall off, or, we're around family and we have all this turkey and mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes and desserts and pies and stuff like that. And we may tend to fall off. So, but also we may want to stay on carnivore, but we may want to make some of those nice comfort foods that we always want to make. And, she said, hey, let's tighten up. And so this is how I have never physically met him, but just by the comment, I want to give her a shout out. Thank you, Cassie, for doing this challenge, and I accept that challenge. I accept that challenge to tighten up, to focus on there, and I'm grateful for you all, and hoping one day that we can sit down, and hopefully one day all of us can have a get together in the middle, and we all can have a carnivore meet, because one of these days I've been hearing about these meetups, and I'm hoping one of these days I'll get that opportunity to get out. So Cassie, thank you for that challenge, and I accept that challenge. And I encourage all you all that if you're seeing this video, go to their channel. Go to Carnivore Kip. Go to Carnivorous Me. Watch their videos on how it is. They are very inspirational, because these are their journey. They're real people, and they want to support, encourage one another. So thank you all. Thank you all once again for this. It really encourages me. It encourages me to get my story out there. It encourages me to, hey, I want to continue to go no matter how many mistakes I made, because, like I said, we're not perfect. So as I making probably my 9th video for this channel, as I'm looking back, I decided to, as I'm looking, it's like, it's nice to do some of these projects, and because I wanted to bring you all along my life and show you the projects that need to get done and I didn't get done. I love to do that, and that's fine and dandy, but I decided I'm going to start focusing this channel, and the content I'm going to focus on for this channel is just, I run it down to two things. And the one thing is like, if God has given me a gift to be an encourager, I want to do it well. So the two contents I'm going to focus on for this channel is, one, I am going to share the gospel and the good news of Jesus Christ here. Sometimes it may not be very nice because, the Bible, some of those books can be mean. But the thing is like, God loves us so much, and he gives us hope. He gives us hope. It gives us faith, and it's the good news. And the good news is what he done for us. And Jesus, he came down here, 100% God, fully man, fully God, lived a perfect life, was mocked, beaten, spit on. And if you want to know what Jesus went through, there is a movie called Passion of the Christ. Many of you probably already watched it, but some may not. And if you want to know what Jesus went through and how evil the Romans were, well, I suggest you watch it because it will make you cry. And that's some of the things that Jesus went through. And he died on a cross. He was buried. My favorite holiday is Easter, and we celebrate his resurrection. And he stayed on the earth 40 days. Now he's back in heaven. And I'm going to tell you, I have faith. I believe it. I trusted him. He is coming back. And the other content that I am going to do is my journey, my mistakes, my life lessons, maybe some cooking videos, some videos about warning about seed oils, and encourage one another through my journey as a carnivore. And that's it. That's what I'm going to primarily focus on. Now the videos, I'll probably do two separate videos. I may not do it. I may do in single content. Sorry, excuse me there. I want to make it, I want to make this where it's primary focus on serving the Lord and encouraging one another, and support and cheer each and one of you on as you all are doing your journey, and being that encourager, because people are watching us, and I think we should encourage and support. And the one thing is we all know, and it breaks my heart, as I go out, because I was I was overweight, I was obese, probably severely obese. And, you go out and you see how it is, and it breaks my heart. And how can we do this in our communities? Well, we share our support. We, through YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, even out there, be a living testimony. And this is why I give you everybody a shout out to this. And because that's one thing what we do is on YouTube, is because we want to share our story and why nothing was sustainable but the carnivore diet, why our journey is like this. And some of us are now in maintenance. Some of us are coaches. Some of us are, helping others. We're all helping one another. We're all supporting one another. And the one thing that I are very grateful for is this community is very, very helpful, very encouraging. We cheer each other on, and no matter what, we stay positive, and no matter what, we don't want to hear any negativity. And that's why, why I kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit, because it does break my heart. And, I understand, I get it with the LMNT situation going on, and, I'm not going to get too much into it. I'm just going to state my opinion about it. Just like many, I just found out this week. And so as I'm learning about this, I was kind of shocked. Ooh, they have maltodextrin and they didn't tell us. Why is it not on the label? But as if you go through their website, through their vlogs and all that, the owners, they're working on something. And the one thing about it is yes, they tested the maltodextrins in their flavoring, and their flavorings come from a third party, and there is no set standard. And this is why I give a shout out to Nili from Indigo Nili. She's explained it very well in a positive way, and it is great. Thank you, Nili, for explaining this and bringing it out, because we should talk about it positive. Bill Knott did. He explained about it, and my opinion is I'm going to continue using LMNT, because I'm not going to use the flavors as much, but I'm not too worried about it. Now, if you're diabetic, or you are diabetic, insulin resistant, or allergy to it, like all of us say, don't use the flavored ones. They do make a raw, and their sparkling water does not contain it. And if you feel really deceived from it, you misled, and you're upset, my understanding, they give you a full money refund, and no questions asked. And that's. If they're working on it and they're doing that and they're being honest and say, look, we have a problem here. We're unaware of this. Now we are aware of it, and we're going to work on it. And I'm sure they're working on it. And if you're truly, truly deceived from it and you're upset and you don't want to use the product, that's okay. But we shouldn't be negative and hateful about it. Go to another brand. I heard that Keto Chow doesn't do that. Serious Keto, he did a test that Dr. Bird detected, if you have maltodextrin in it. And, one of the things with the iodine test, it showed that Keto Chow, salty, like this, doesn't have it. But I remember watching a video from Dr. Berry one time, about, as we get adults, we should be adults. Let's grow up, put our big pants on, and maybe we shouldn't be drinking the flavored packs. We should be drinking the raw. So, I'm still going to stay with LMNT. I feel just like many of them out there that agree with Nili from Indigo Nili that, a carb and a half, I'm not going to worry about it. At least it's better than having fruit juice, those sports drinks that you buy at Walmart or the grocery store that's full of dyes and chemicals and sugars and artificial sweeteners, better than soda. I'm not going to worry about it. Now, like I said, if you're diabetic, you're insulin resistant, or, you have an allergy to it, by all means, I say, you don't stay away from it. They do have a raw pack, and I'm hoping one day that as they working on this, they'll change it. So thank you, Nili, for your state and explaining it and showing this. It was really helpful. Thank you once again. Now my final thought is, as I'm watching some of these channels and I read some of the comments, the one thing is like, we as individuals, we're all human. We make mistakes. We're not perfect. I'm not perfect, and you're not perfect. And what really breaks my heart the most is when you hear people, going through this journey, going through life struggles no matter what. And we may not understand each other's struggles or the addictions or the storms we go through life. But one thing we do all have in common is we all struggle. Life's not fair. And what really, really breaks my heart is when I'm hearing and I'm reading I'm hearing negative comments like we're not doing it right, or you're never going to achieve it, or you're not going to be sustainable. I've been in this for 30 days. I can vouch for some of these people. Some of these channels come out like Carnivore Quest, Larry and Cassie, Carnivorous Me, Carnivore Kip. These people, Intentional Carnivore with Sean, I believe his name is Sean from Intentional Carnivore, and Bill Knott. these people didn't have a life. I was losing my life. I can relate to these people, even though I was 338 pounds and I was physically working and I was doing my daily life, but still we felt like we were in prison, and we felt that this carnivore is changing our life and we're getting our freedom back. And many others like Laura Spath and her husband, Chris, Kerry Mann and his wife, Jen, and their kids, they will testify. And the one thing is we may not be perfect, but the reason why we put ourselves out here is because we want to encourage one another. We want to help one another through our journey. What helped us? What mistakes we made? What we can do, we lift each other up. What can we get help from each other? We're here for one another. And the one thing that breaks our heart and gets us upset and makes us want to give up is when we hear these nasty negative comments and these trolls. It upsets me when I hear that, when someone is doing their best and you see their transformation from day one and they're putting themselves out there. I didn't like video. I'm new to this. This is my 9th video that I'm going to be putting out. And I'm not one that want to be in front of the camera. I put myself out here to encourage one another, to support through my journey and sharing the gospel. No matter what, I may not been on all the drugs and the psychotic. I may not been diagnosed with depression. But when before I started this, I thought I was hopeless. I'm gonna be morbidly obese. I'm not gonna give up this thing. I'm never gonna be like this. And the one thing that why I came to the carnivore is from long time ago. I learned. I wish I went carnivore back in 2020 because it may be different. But you know what? We learn from our mistakes. We're human. We fall. We get right back up. The one thing that we all do is we keep on trying. That's why even the doctors, Dr. Barry, Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Anthony Shafee, there's many other people, Steak and Butter Gal, Lily Kane, there's a reason why we do these videos. Some of them are health coaches. Some of them are there because we're a huge support, and we know there's a huge problem out there and our society is dying young. The reason why I'm saying this is because I did not realize now, if you turn 45 and you can talk to Dr. Barry, Dr. Anthony Kiltz, Dr. Shafee, and some of those other doctors, they will tell you that they moved up. Colonoscopies, we need them at 45 because the cancer rate is so high. And I'm like, what? I thought that was like 50 or 55 now. No, they moved it up. And I'm afraid as we don't take a change and we don't step up and take a change and get on this proper human diet, that the diet that God had created us from the beginning. And because we are gatherers, we are hunters, we grow food no matter what it is. We didn't do this. We worked the land. We moved. We didn't sit like we used to. We moved. We sit now more time. We sit in front of a TV, and this is stuff that I have to start changing. And I know wintertime is coming on, and it is tough. But no matter what, I'm going to try to get out. Like last night, I would just sit down. I told my youngest daughter, I wanted to go listen to music, but I get it. If she has friends not there, she don't want to feel laughed out, and so that's okay. But the main thing is I didn't want to sit in the house. I wanted to get out. So we got out. Yes, I went out to eat. And of course, it did Mexican. But, the thing is on this, the reason why I picked that, because my local restaurants, there's not very many of them. And I don't know if they would do carnivore options. And being busy on a Friday night, I didn't want to try to take that chance. And one of these days, one of my favorite restaurants, I'm going to go in and see if they're willing to do something like a carnivore, how much would it cost for this and this? But the thing is I got my usual. I made sure that I said, I don't want this, this, and this. And yes, it is a little bit of the keto. I had peppers, I had onions, there was some tomatoes, but the main thing is I wanted to stay away from the tortillas, the rice, and those beans. I didn't eat the lettuce. I didn't eat the pico de gallo. I had a little bit of the avocado or the guacamole. I don't know how their guacamole is made. These are oils, but I know avocado is a good, healthy oil as long as it's not refined. It's unrefined, it's okay. But, and I had a little bit of sour cream, just a little bit, whatever it came there. I brought pork rinds, because one of my favorite things was chips and salsa, but I'm not eating those chips because I know they are fried in heavily in the seed oils, which is been used over and over and over. So that's some of the things that I was cautious about. And I woke up, I wasn't hurting anything. But the thing is like, hey, I wanted to get out, I wanted to enjoy life. I'm starting to try to challenge myself more because I'm like, I got to get more flexible. Otherwise my body is going to stay like this, and I'm going to be in my 70s, and there's no way I'm able to bend. And, I'm grateful because I don't have any inflammation. Now, last night I had a little bit of pain in my SI joint. It's because I'm trying to reach to touch go down and bend on my right side to touch my toes. And yes, you're going to tend to hurt a little bit when you do that. And my SI joint in that area hurt. My hip kind of hurt because it moved a little beyond my tolerance. My body would allow me because we can do it. We can move. You have to retrain. You can't say, well, that's far as I go. No, you have to retrain. So no matter what, we're human. We're not perfect. So please, people, please stop with the negative comments. Be supportive. We don't have to nitpick us. We're not perfect. The one thing that I'm going to shout out to every one of y'all that's doing this journey, no matter on YouTube or off of YouTube, you're just here to watch. I shout out, keep doing it. You all are doing a great job. Keep doing what you're doing. No matter if we haven't made our goals yet, keep on doing it. I want to thank you all for watching this video. If you like this content today, please like, subscribe, comment, and share it because we need this. We need more people out there. We're real people putting ourselves out here wanting to help others through our journey on this carnivore way of life, this proper human diet. I want to thank you all again for listening. Y'all have a good day. God bless.